Hello, mic check. Ooh, this is exciting. So the official IMAX website has a company quote that says, "The world's most immersive movie experience." And yeah, that about sums it up. So recently I had the opportunity to go see the new Twisters in IMAX. I'm a big fan of the one from the 80s, so I was really excited. And needless to say, it lived up to the hype. It was wonderful. And I know it wasn't technically shot on IMAX, don't worry, I know, but I still got to see it on that big screen. And all of this just had me thinking about how much I love the IMAX experience. So I wanted to make this video, and it's going to be divided into two parts, which one is going to be sort of what is IMAX, and two is going to be why I love it. So to answer that question, let's go all the way back to the year 1880, when this man, George Eastman, would invent what we call roll film. Now, this was further developed by Thomas Edison with Eastman and without Eastman into 35 millimeter film. Thomas Edison would use his movie production cartel, the Motion Picture Patents Company, to firmly establish his 35 millimeter film as the industry standard for a long, long time until we get to digital film. But what about in between that? In 1970, the IMAX Corporation came onto the scene with an idea. Before we get into that idea, I want to establish a few words so we're on the same page. One is perforation, or perf. It's those little holes you see alongside the film. And two is the millimeter in 35 millimeter, or later 70 millimeter, which just simply refers to the width of the film. And you might see these coupled together as 4-35, which means 4 perf 35 millimeter film. Now this brings us back to the idea that started the IMAX Corporation. They said, what if we grabbed this 35 millimeter film, threw it in the garbage, picked up this 65 millimeter film, turned it horizontally, and ran it through our specially made projectors. And boom, there you have it. 15 perf 70 millimeter film, which is the digital equivalent of 18,000 pixels. Well, you may be thinking, that's all well and good, but what does it actually do to an image? Well, first, you're going to notice it makes it a lot taller. Here's an example from Star Wars The Force Awakens with a standard widescreen image. And then there's the 70 millimeter IMAX image in the 1.43 aspect ratio. You can clearly see how much more information can be given in this shot and how much more a filmmaker can do in this type of space. And of course, we have to talk about the image quality. Compared to your 35 millimeter image, the 70 millimeter IMAX picture is approximately 8 times the resolution, giving the audience a much cleaner and accurate picture to what the filmmaker wanted. Of course, they project this image on the famous 59 by 79 foot screen, all culminating into the world's most immersive movie experience. And so now that you know the history and the specs, let's get into. For a long time, IMAX was never considered when making a narrative feature film. It was mostly used for your shorts and your documentaries. IMAX was expensive, it was difficult to pull off, and frankly, the camera was loud. It would cause tons of audio issues on set. Then, in 2008, the director Christopher Nolan decided to say, "The heck with it," and used 70 millimeter IMAX film in his movie, The Dark Knight. He shot approximately 28 minutes of the movie in this format, completely changing the game.
I've always been interested in shooting film on IMAX. It's the world's highest resolution film format, and it creates an incredibly immersive experience.
While no narrative feature has yet to be fully shot in the 70 millimeter IMAX format, he did get close last year with Oppenheimer. Now that seems on paper a bit of an odd choice for your 3-hour talkie biopic. Traditionally, IMAX has been used to maximize scale. Think your blockbusters, like a Star Wars type. Instead, here, Nolan did almost the opposite. Oppenheimer consists mostly of very intimate cinematography. Yes, there's flashy stuff there, but there's a lot of close-up portraiture, not something you'd expect with the IMAX format. The scale was found in the action of its characters, not so much the explosions going on in the background. And it was with this movie that I realized the true potential of IMAX. It wasn't just a one-trick pony. It's a tool to be used by a filmmaker. And no, it's not for every movie, but it's definitely not a gimmick either. To your average audience, it might just be the massive screen and the explosive sound, but to a film and filmmaker, it's a flexible tool that can be used to enhance your sci-fi blockbuster, or in the case of Oppenheimer, your intimate character piece. You can't put filmmaking in a box of what it can or can't be. And I think that's what Chris Nolan has been proving with this format. And I'm really excited to see what other filmmakers do to innovate in this space. Because at the end of the day, that's what filmmaking is all about. It's about pushing the limits of the craft. And that's why I love IMAX. It's a space to do just that.